Yeah, it's cash. DJ Deuce McGuire, this hot as a log fire. Spark the lighter in the 303. We wrestle at the quarry. Golden, Colorado. Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy. Elevated wrestling. Yeah. Hashtag follow if you know the motto. Can't stop now. Got the need for speed. Combustion and concussion. Championships in my vision. I put the key in the ignition. Such an easy decision. I got a hustler's ambition. Wrestling at its best. Welcome to the show. I put on for Rocky Mountain Pro. Let's go.
RMP Radio is back on the air. Hi, I am your host, Mr. Fourth Row, and joining me on this edition, I've got Scotty Long of Fast Performance. Scotty, how you doing?
I'm doing well, Artie. Thank you for having me on today.
All right, so tell the listeners what Fast Performance is all about.
Yeah, sure. So what Fast Performance is the premier destination for athletic performance in the Denver area. And what we do is, or what we believe in is delivering the best product for athletes, for our clients. And our goals, our training system for any goal, large or small, will be generated with a customized approach that encompasses optimum wellness, food-based nutritional strategies, recovery, and regeneration considerations. And, basically we're a team of top industry professionals that are passionate about human performance, and we're committed to providing the highest level of service under one roof, providing our clients or our athletes a complete and individual training program to help them achieve their goals. And our approach is pretty simple, Artie. And what we want to do is decrease injury risk. We want to increase the performance of every client in our facility. And, that kind of dictates what sport they're in, or, if they're coming back from injury or something along those lines, or if they want to lose weight, that's fine too. And, we work with people from all walks of life. We've got a ton of high school athletes, a ton of junior high athletes or middle school athletes, folks and kids in the NCAA through a variety of sports, Olympians, professional athletes, and everyday adults. So I guess to kind of tie that all in a nutshell is I like to imagine Fast Performance almost like a Division I athletic department where we have the injury management side, or the sports recovery side, which I mostly work into. And then we've got the sports performance with Joel Rather and John Cole and Mike and Josh, who are our strength coaches, and they help kids and athletes go through performance. And then we've got a podcast where we tie in education and try to educate other coaches, other athletes. We've got sports psychology, sports nutrition with a registered dietitian, and then we've got Jason Hirsch and the baseball team with helping baseball players become better hitters and better pitchers. And then just recently, we are home to the Rocky Mountain Professional Wrestling Academy. And that's a pretty new endeavor and a pretty new partnership that we're very excited about.
Yeah, and that's the reason why I kind of have you on, and I'd like to talk about that in just a moment. But
sure.
What I was kind of curious about, and you kind of answered it, but I wonder if you might want to expand on it, is so Fast Performance kind of will cater to anywhere from a, say, an average Joe, if we can use that terminology from the dodgeball movies, up to a professional athlete.
Yeah, absolutely. We don't really, obviously we do care, but, we don't care what walk of life you come from, or, what your background is. We're not super snobby, and we only say, we only work with pro athletes, or we only work with Division I athletes. If somebody comes through our door with a drive and a goal to become a better human being, be it on the field or on the court, or if they want to lose weight or decrease their injury risk, we try to provide that individual program for them to meet their goal. So yeah, it doesn't, our everybody thinks that we only work with high flashy athletes or anything like that, and that's farther from the truth. We want to help the average Joes and help the guys at the top of their game too. So.
Oh, that's awesome. So let me ask you for and like I say, an average Joe, say like myself. I'm not a wrestler. I'm a kind of the personality, but so if somebody like me would be went in there, is it more of they're getting a lot of personal training versus like if they got a membership like at a gym, like you say Anytime Fitness or a Vasa or something like that, it's where they're kind of on their own, but it is Fast Performance for an average Joe, is it more they're going to do a lot of personal training?
Yeah, we definitely want to kind of steer our clients and our athletes to a personal training route where they're working with a certified strength and conditioning coach or their certified athletic trainer, that their profession is to optimize their performance, or their profession is to write a program to get you to whatever goals that you want. And what separates us from like an Anytime Fitness or 24-hour Fitness, rest in peace, they just filed for Chapter 11, but those type of gyms that are more accessible to the public, they their main goal is to sell memberships. Right. And they kind of push hard for personal training, but at the end of the day, like, they don't really care if you meet your goal or not. And to be frank with you, Artie, is they want you to not really use your membership and still pay that monthly bill, but they're always looking for new members. And so that side of, we'll call it kind of corporate fitness, or that end where they're at the big box gyms, like that's kind of broken. And you'll see time and time again with individuals that sign up for a 24-hour fitness gym membership, and they end up canceling it in 6 months because they don't have that direction. They don't have somebody that is as knowledgeable as our staff here at Fast Performance, taking them through the program, taking them through the journey of achieving their goals.
Right. And as passionate as wanting to see them achieve their goals.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one of the main things is, we don't do this to try and attach our names to, the biggest athletes or anything like that. Like, I get so much job satisfaction out of somebody saying, hey man, like over the last 6 weeks, like I lost 11 pounds, or I've got a client that she has had some posterior shoulder and upper back issues, and she was kind of complaining. Her chief complaint was having pain in her shoulder anytime that she would do like a press over her head or a pull up or something like that. And after working with me for I think it's been four or 5 weeks, like, she came in to me on this last Tuesday just ecstatic, like, yo, Scotty, like, I just did a pull up, I just did like a vertical press. I haven't been able to do that in months. Like, thank you so much. And that, that's as much worth anything else to me, man. Absolutely.
Right. Okay. And then what about the expansion on that? The more premier athletes. How's that kind of set up for them? What are they looking for when they get in contact with you and get going with you?
Yeah, so that's a really good question, and it kind of depends on where they are in the season. So for right now, for example, we've got a handful of athletes that there's we'll talk about our collegiate Division I kids. Their spring season got cut short due to COVID, and so we've got a handful of kids that are looking to maintain and increase some of their performance, be it getting stronger, faster, a little bit leaner, bulking. It all kind of depends, with the hope that we're able to return to sport sometime in the fall, or they're going to be able to play their spring sport. So for instance, we've got a kid that he is just graduated high school, and he's one heck of a lacrosse player, and super fast, super agile, super mobile, and he can basically put the ball wherever he wants in the net. But he's tiny. We've got to bulk mass on him and get him bigger so that he can, kind of bump around with the bigger guys that are going to be he's going to be playing against. And then, we've got a handful of baseball players that are either in the minor leagues with a handful of organizations, or they've already made it to the show, and they're just trying to maintain what they had going into spring training. So all the hard work that they had in winter, they tried to move that into spring training. Well, that got cut short. Their season is on the line, and they just recently accepted a 60-game season.
Yeah.
So now it's almost like these guys are kind of going into a second spring training. And so with Jason Hirsch and his core of baseball coaches and the performance guys, we try to increase velocity a little bit, or if there's something going on with their spin rate that we need to kind of touch on their spin rate, or if they need to kind of re-peak, I guess, for their performance, which is going to be huge to be able to be successful in this up and coming, short season. So COVID's kind of done a lot of different things to us to kind of get out of a traditional periodization period and either help maintain or increase performance. So hopefully that long-winded answer gives you some insight on what we do with the premier guys, or quote unquote premier guys.
Right. Yeah. And so you guys are able to cover like a whole bunch of aspects of different sports and be able to tailor your approach to help them with whatever they need help with or they want to get better at.
Yeah, absolutely. And that starts with having a conversation with the athlete and kind of getting a history of what they've done, where they've been, do they have any nagging injuries or pains that we have to be mindful of, and then talking about the goals that we want to achieve or we want to reach, and then performing a needs analysis based off of our conversation with our athlete. We take them through if they're just looking at the performance aspect. Our performance coaches kind of take them through a movement screen, a dynamic warm up to see how well this athlete moves. And, if they're coming in to see me for more injury management, then that's where I go in and try and do an injury assessment with checking their range of motion, their strength, a handful of special tests. and trying to figure out, okay, this, if we focus on this here, this is going to make us hit the ball better. For instance, like, all right, we need to work on our rotational strength and our rotational power in our trunk, which is going to turn into hitting the ball better, further, longer, having a quicker shot in lacrosse. So, it kind of depends on what our conversation is with the athlete. What is the coach seeing in the movements? What are some of the biggest low-hanging fruit that we can try and address out on the performance floor or the weight room, and that goes to the same in the training room too, with me and injury management.
Yeah, well, great. That's fantastic. Okay, so going from there, just recently, while I've got you on, Rocky Mountain Pro has announced that they've moved their training over to you. How'd that all come about?
Yeah, so I'll give you a little bit of backstory. I've always been a professional wrestling fan, and we can kind of talk about that as it comes up. But I moved here in Denver. What was that? Fall of 2015, and we moved out here with it was me and my wife, and she had found a job, and I was looking for employment. And during that time, I had a lot of downtime, and so I looked on YouTube to see what kind of if there was any professional wrestling here in Colorado to watch and kill time. And this was before RMP switched all the way over to Twitch as their streaming platform for their videos and everything else. And so found out that Rocky Mountain Pro was here in Denver. I'm like, oh, cool. This is awesome. So watched a few of those matches, and then I work for the Colorado Mammoth, which is the indoor professional lacrosse team here in Denver, as their athletic trainer. And around the same time of this game, Joel, JC, and Jason Hirsch, who are the managing partners for Fast Performance, we were serious about looking into creating a new facility and operating a new sports performance facility. And I've always looked at professional wrestling as an athletic endeavor. Obviously everybody knows that, the outcomes are predetermined, and, some of the things that the guys and gals are going to be doing in the ring are predetermined, but you have to be able to lift somebody up. You have to be able to have a good metabolic system to be able to perform optimally in the ring and not get blown and everything like that. So putting all the, oh, it's fake, oh, it's staged, all that stuff aside, like, no, these guys at the end of the day are still athletes. And so the Mammoth had a cross promotion game with Rocky Mountain Pro, and where at the end of the game they had the Rumble at the Loud House, and that was super fun. And so, knowing that we're gonna have a performance facility, I thought, hey, why not approach Matt Yaden, who was obviously there? Why not approach him and say, hey, I'd love to help you guys out. And that's literally how it started, was at the end of the match, after Wooly beat Jumbo Samora for the Rumble at the Loud House. I approached Matt and Al Snow and D'Lo Brown was back there too. So I got to meet those guys, which was cool. I said, hey, Matt, my name's Scott. We're going to be opening this new facility. Once we get it open, I'd love to show you around, maybe create a potential partnership where you can send your guys to me for injury management stuff or strength and conditioning stuff. And that was, when was that game? That was either like at the end of January or early February, and he's like, "Oh man, like that sounds great. Let's exchange contact information." So we did, emailed him, and then kind of kept in contact. We were building the facility out and putting on the equipment in and the turf down and stuff, and it came time to invite him over, and then COVID happened and the whole shutdown happened. So we weren't able to touch base. And then as things started to kind of mellow out, I invited him over again and just say, "Hey, I don't know if you remember me, blah, blah, blah." And I actually did like I said, we've got a podcast called the Fast Performance Podcast. Mm-hmm. I did a podcast with Matt, and after the podcast, kind of showed him around the facility, which the majority of the bones were there and the majority of the equipment was there, and said, "Hey, would you be interested in some sort of partnership with strength and conditioning and some other things?" And it just so happened that his lease or his rental agreement over at the Jefferson Fairgrounds was starting to, or getting close to expiring. And he's like, "Hey, what do you think about potentially having the wrestling academy here? Like, what do you think about having the ring in the back?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, like I'm all for it. Let's dive into it." And sure enough, already 2-3 weeks later, we had a proposal together, and the bones of the partnership was there, and they moved their ring in June 15th, and they've been having practice Monday through Thursday night, some in the morning, and it's been awesome. It's been great.
Yeah. So what was it like setting that ring up in your facility?
Yeah, so we mapped it out, and we kind of paced it out and got out the measuring tape, and we were like, it's going to take a big chunk of space because it's the 18 by 18 ring, and it's the higher one too. So it's got 3.5 feet of clearance from the ground. And when they brought it in, we are like, "Oh wow, this is this is different, man." And there were just kind of a little bit of concerns. I wouldn't say that everybody's like, "Oh, okay, this is great." It took some massaging for us on the performance side to try and figure out, okay, obviously the ring is taking up a bit of space. We're going to have to kind of change the way that we do different drills and, just space utilization. But after a week of it being up, like everybody just got used to it, and it's been great, man, because we get a lot of younger kids from 8 to 12 years old doing baseball training and baseball camp type stuff. And like when they come into the back, like their eyes just light up. They're like, "Oh my gosh, what is that? Is that a wrestling ring?" And then there's been a couple times where some of the Rocky Mountain Pro guys have come in to get some extra reps and bump around the ring while everybody else is in there too. And I feel like the training floor just kind of like stops for a little bit, watches them do their spots and take their bumps, and then everybody's like, "Oh man, that was really cool. That was really neat."
Yeah. And one thing I noticed from some of the pictures, and you kind of answered it, but I'll go ahead and ask you anyways. So I see underneath the ring, you've got a piece of the Mammoth Field in there as well, huh?
Yeah. So Joel Rather, who has been the strength and conditioning coach for the Mammoth for about 13 years, he's actually like the longest tenured person on staff currently, and that includes coaches and GMs and some of the front office guys. So he's kind of the old guard for the Mammoth. He bought the old turf that was in the Pepsi Center because they expanded the logo there at the Pepsi Center to make it bigger. So the turf that we have in there now is the old turf that the guys used to play on, and he's had that turf for a number of years now. And I'm going to tell you what, Artie, I could go for the rest of my life without having to roll up and unroll that turf. Like it's a mess, man, and it's a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I would imagine. I wonder if that might be even the same turf. Years and years ago, I used to play in a league that did dodgeball, and we had a couple of like once a year we had a big dodgeball showdown. It was called at the Pepsi Center. We played on the turf before the Mammoth game. It was part of the package. You played the event, got to go to the game. So I wonder if I wonder if that might be the same turf I actually played on.
Yeah, it definitely could be. It definitely could be. You know, I was talking to another guy that Joel sold him a piece of that turf. So
yeah,
that turf definitely has some history on it. You know, it's hosted a championship winning team for the Mammoth, and you know, a whole host of other stuff. So it's probably got some stories on it.
That's awesome. Okay, so getting back to RMP, what is the kind of extra little emphasis that Fast Performance has to help the wrestlers out beyond just the wrestling moves? What are you guys trying to focus on?
Yeah, so when Matt and I talked and kind of put this partnership together, there's a number of things that we wanted to do. Like, obviously, Matt wanted to find a good home for the academy and find a good home for the wrestlers to train. And the second part to that was, you know, kind of alluding to what I said earlier, and I trained the wrestlers like they're athletes. And so I've done the needs analysis and looked at wrestling and try to say, okay, what do these guys need? And so a part of that is an optional Rocky Mountain Performance Plus package where the wrestlers that are already in the academy have the option to going into the performance package where we meet Monday, Tuesday, Thursday nights and get a workout in. And right now we are in our strength endurance phase. So what that means is it's a lot of volume and not a whole heck of a lot of weight, because I want to try and continue to lean down some of the guys and girls. And I want to increase our aerobic capacity with the hopes of translating that to having longer matches and, you know, having better spots where guys aren't having to catch the breath and stuff like that, and increase ring performance. But on the flip side of that, any new student that enrolls in the wrestling academy automatically enrolls into the performance program. And so we've already seen two brand new wrestlers, two brand new students take advantage of that. And you know, I'm not going to lie, like the workouts are hard, and there's a lot of things that a lot of the folks that are enrolled in it like haven't done before. And so you know, basically what I try to emulate is almost the feel that the WWE has created with their NXT program, where they've got this huge, awesome facility in Orlando where Sean Hayes, who is the head of performance for NXT, takes them through workouts, you know, almost every day, and then they're able to do their in-ring training. And basically I wanted to kind of emulate that model where sports performance and injury management coincide with what the RMP calendar looks like.
Right. Yeah. And, and kind of what you were in the middle, you were kind of alluding to is that when RMP gets back to producing shows, so that the term is that the wrestlers don't get blown, halfway through their match.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And, I don't want to be the first one to leak this at all or anything like that, but there's already been rumblings of wanting to get back to live television and rumblings of maybe doing a live venue type of show, and and so I'm looking at some of those dates that have kind of been floating around and saying, okay, I need to work backwards from those dates to try and get the wrestlers that are in the performance program to peak at that time.
Right. Yeah. So you're even adding, like you said, adding the additional time schedule to go, hey, we got a show here, and we're going to get you guys ready for the show. Yep.
No, and that goes back to the way that strength and conditioning has supported traditional sports, and that goes all the way back 50, 60 years with trying to peak their athletes at pivotal games or pivotal competitions. And so, if there's a big match coming up in the future, like I want the wrestlers that are in the program to be able to peak for that big show.
Yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic. Knowing that, I think the listeners are going to be excited, and all the fans of Rocky Mountain Pro are going to be excited about that too when we start seeing live shows for them, because I know they've got a couple in the bank that had to be or in the can that had to be not released because of everything that was going on. But so it's going to be interesting to see how that all kind of pieces together. Oh, all right. Well, fantastic. I think that might be a great place to wrap that up. But before I do let you go, people wanted to check up on Fast Performance and see what you got going on, maybe even get in contact with you. Where could they do that? Like on website, social media, and all that good stuff?
Yeah. Before we do that, Artie, I want to give a shout out to. So we've been doing the Performance Plus program for about 6 weeks now. I think we're going to be entering week 6 or 7. I got to look at the program, but I want to give a shout out to some of the wrestlers that are involved with the program and taking advantage of the opportunity. And the first one's going to be Mercury Yaden. So he was the first guy that said, "Hey man, I've put on quite a bit of weight. I want to get back to some sort of form that I had 12 years ago. And I want to feel better about myself, and I want to, perform in the ring better and work with Curtis Cole as the tag dudes and put out, a good product in the ring." And so he was the first one to sign up, and I know that he's lost some weight, and his work capacity has gone up. Same thing with Jumbo Zamora. He's another guy that I look at that, obviously I don't want to turn him into a twig and change his name to Twig Zamora, but he's another guy that comes in and gets the work done and gets after it. Johnny Zudo is the same thing. He gets after it. He's put it out on the line. Lilith Grimm, who is kind of newer. She actually just had her first singles debut against Heidi Howitzer a couple weeks ago for the Headlocks for Hospice. Mm-hmm. She works extremely hard. She works extremely hard in the ring and out of the ring in the weight room with me. Owen Easton or Danny Easton, he's kind of newer in the program, but same thing. He's putting in the work. Who else do we got? Kira Murphy, Mercury's girlfriend. She's been in the program for a couple weeks. Like, she doesn't really have any ambitions to get into the ring, but she's getting after it just like any of the other guys. And then we've got 2 new students that have signed up, JT and Lathan. They're brand new students, and they've been really good and really coachable for the sessions that they've been in. And so, again, huge shout out to those guys and girls for putting in the extra work and making the commitment to being a better wrestler.
Oh yeah, awesome. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I knew quite a few of those people, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good to see. And yeah, I do follow along. I see the trainings happening and being streamed out on Twitch every Thursday or every evening, Monday through Thursday. Like I said, yeah.
Yep. Yeah. So you can check. Mercury's always got the Twitch channel going. You can see me yelling at the guys, or correcting them during exercise and putting them through a little bit of torture. Not too much, just enough to make them sweat. But you can check it out on Twitch. Again, that's going to be, we train Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, 6:30 Mountain Time, and you can find all the details on the Rocky Mountain Pro Twitch channel.
Right, awesome. Okay, and then like I asked, people want to check out Fast Performance all out there on the interwebs?
Yeah, so you can go to fastcolorado.com to check out our website. You can kind of click through to see what our performance is about, the recovery and injury management treatments that we do. And, if you've got a kid that plays baseball or you play baseball, you can check out the baseball training. And then you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Fast Performance CEO. And then Twitter, we're Fast Perform CEO. And then, like I alluded to earlier, we've got a podcast where we talk to some of the industry leaders in strength and conditioning and human performance. And you can find that on your favorite podcast player, which is the Fast Performance Podcast. And then my personal kind of public Instagram is Scotty with a Y _ sports med. So Scotty _ sports med on Instagram.
Awesome. All right. Well, once again, Scotty, I appreciate you coming on to this edition of RMP Radio and letting listeners get to know a little bit about what Fast Performance is providing to Rocky Mountain Pro.
Artie, I really appreciate this opportunity, and I look forward to watching RMP kind of get back into form and really become the premier destination for independent wrestling with what we're doing in the weight room and obviously what Mercury's doing in the ring. I'm really excited about this partnership, and I think it really separates us from what other promotions and academies are doing nationwide. So I look at this opportunity as setting RMP and the Wrestling Academy as the premier place. And obviously, Matt's already had some success with that, with some of the folks and wrestlers that have gone on to the quote unquote
big time
next stage or the big time, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they've had at least, as far as I know, at least two out there that people will know about. So
yeah. I mean, they've got Otis on WWE, who he's having a great run, doing his thing on SmackDown, and then Abaddon just got signed with AEW, and so that's really exciting. And there's a handful of other guys that are either in Ring of Honor or TNA, or I guess it's Impact now. But so we just want to continue that trajectory in a positive direction.
Yeah, that's great. That's fantastic. Well, once again, thank you for coming on, and hopefully I'll be able to meet you in the future once we get RMP going full throttle.
Yeah, come on by. Our address is 4650 Layden Street, Unit F, Denver, Colorado, and we'd love to show you around, Artie.
All right, thanks. Once again, a huge big thank you to Scotty Long for coming on to this edition of RMP Radio and introducing us to Fast Performance Colorado and letting us know what they are all about. All right, well, let's pay some bills like they used to say back in the day. You want to get some fantastic merchandise of your favorite Rocky Mountain Pro superstars, head over to the website at rmpwrestling.com, click on the merchandise link, or if you're in the Amazon website or the Amazon app, search for Rocky Mountain Pro and pick yourself up a shirt, a hat, a pop socket, all kinds of great things there. And here's what I do, like I keep telling you guys, and I keep doing it a lot lately because there's always something I buy on Amazon, and sometimes I just need to buy something a little simple. And it doesn't, if you guys are not, let's say, for example, a Prime customer and getting the free shipping, but if you can get up to that $25 free shipping at Amazon, add yourself up a shirt when you're just buying that simple, let's say, like for example, myself, Insight Look, I went to buy some drawer handle pulls. Well, they didn't get to that $25, so you know what I did? I added myself a little Rocky Mountain Pro shirt, so that's how you guys can help support us be great. And then, of course, check with your Rocky Mountain Pro superstars. A lot of them have now set up a Pro Wrestling Tees store as well. All right, so no upcoming events that I know of right now, but if you do want to support us, if you are a Amazon Prime subscriber, we are on Twitch. Got a lot of great shows on there at twitch.tv/Rocky Mountain Pro. Of course, you can also find it in your Twitch app, and it would be greatly appreciated to subscribe and support us there. And let's just say, this little birdie kind of that I hear, it may be very important for you to get in on that Twitch subscription. You can also find us on the Fight TV platform through your mobile device, your Roku, and etc. Also, go over to youtube.com/Rocky Mountain Pro and find all kinds of great videos there. And then you can also, of course, catch us on ImpactPlus.tv. Want to follow us and stay up to date with everything Rocky Mountain Pro? Head over to the website, rmpwrestling.com. That's where everything stems from. And then, of course, on the social media of the Facebook, the Twitter, the Instagram of all of the Rocky MTN Pro. And once again, I'll phonetically spell that for you. That is the Rocky Mike Ting November Pro. And once again, I want to thank you all for listening, supporting RMP Radio, where pro wrestling is elevated.